The permission paradox, Bitcoin's entry into the labyrinth of finance. We observe a curious tension, a dance between the old and the new, as the very essence of decentralized truth seeks a path through the established gates of centralized control. This moment reveals not just a new service, but a profound reflection on the nature of economic freedom and the enduring quest for sound money within a system designed for its antithesis. We stand at a peculiar crossroads, don't we? On one side, the relentless, unyielding logic of Bitcoin, a protocol of pure scarcity, a ledger of undeniable truth, a testament to individual sovereignty. On the other, the intricate, often opaque architecture of traditional finance, a realm built upon the expansion of credit, the illusion of infinite resources, and the pervasive need for permission. When a bridge is built between these two worlds, as we now observe in the heart of New York, it compels us to ask, is this a genuine convergence, or merely a temporary truce in an ongoing philosophical conflict? You see, the acquisition of a BitLicense by a Bitcoin financial services firm in New York is not merely a regulatory milestone. It is a symbolic act, a moment that forces us to confront the very nature of control and the human yearning for both security and liberty. For decades, the financial landscape of New York has been a crucible of innovation, yes, but also a fortress of regulation, a testament to the belief that order must be imposed from above. And now, a force born of spontaneous order, of distributed consensus, seeks entry. What does it mean truly for Bitcoin to enter this regulated space? It means that the state, through its various agencies, acknowledges the undeniable presence and growing influence of this new monetary paradigm. It means that the market, in its ceaseless pursuit of value, has compelled even the most entrenched systems to adapt, to open a door, however narrow. But this opening comes with conditions, with oversight, with the very mechanisms of control that Bitcoin was designed to circumvent. We are told that this license allows for the buying and selling of Bitcoin, for salary conversions, for bill payments. These are conveniences, certainly. They offer a smoother path for individuals to interact with Bitcoin without navigating the perceived complexities of self-custody. But convenience, we must remember, often comes at a price. The price, in this instance, is the relinquishing of a degree of the very sovereignty that Bitcoin promises. When an intermediary holds your keys, even for a moment, the fundamental principle of not your keys, not your Bitcoin echoes with a quiet urgency. Consider the words of the firm's founder. Speaking of bringing their mission to the global center of finance, we must pause here and reflect. What kind of finance are we speaking of? Is it the finance of sound money, of real savings, of honest economic calculation? Or is it the finance of endless credit expansion, of fractional reserves, of the monetary illusion that distorts time preference and encourages consumption over true capital formation? New York, in its current iteration, is undeniably the latter. To introduce Bitcoin into this environment is to introduce a stark, uncompromising truth into a world accustomed to comfortable fictions. This tension is not new. It is the eternal struggle between the individual and the collective, between the spontaneous order of the market and the planned order of the state. Mises taught us that human action is always purposeful, always aimed at alleviating felt uneasiness. And for many, the uneasiness stems from a monetary system that erodes purchasing power, that rewards debt over savings, that centralizes power in the hands of a few. Bitcoin offers a radical solution to this uneasiness, a path towards a sounder, more equitable economic reality. Yet, when this path is mediated by regulated entities, we must ask, are we truly moving towards freedom, or merely exchanging one set of gatekeepers for another, albeit with a Bitcoin veneer? The promise of converting wages into Bitcoin, of paying bills from a Bitcoin balance, sounds like progress, and in some ways, it is. It normalizes Bitcoin, integrates it into the fabric of daily economic life. But the true revolution of Bitcoin lies not in its transactional utility, but in its capacity to restore individual monetary sovereignty. It is about the ability to hold your own wealth, free from the whims of banks, governments, or even well-intentioned intermediaries. The article mentions plans for Bitcoin-backed lending, allowing users to borrow fiat while holding their Bitcoin. This particular path, we observe, is fraught with historical lessons. We need only cast our minds back to the events of 2022, when numerous high-profile lenders operating in this very sector collapsed into bankruptcy. BlockFi, Celsius, Genesis, these names serve as stark reminders of the perils of rehypothecation, of the illusion of yield, and of the fundamental incompatibility of fractional reserve practices with the immutable scarcity of Bitcoin. When you lend your Bitcoin, even if it's backed by your own Bitcoin, you introduce counterparty risk. You surrender control, however temporarily, to an entity that operates within the very system of credit expansion that Bitcoin seeks to transcend. The promise of borrowing fiat against Bitcoin might seem appealing, a way to leverage an appreciating asset without selling it. But it is a path that often leads to the very kind of financial entanglement and systemic risk that Bitcoin was designed to escape. True collateral, in the Blocksonic view, is that which you hold yourself unencumbered in your own cold wallet. Anything else introduces a layer of trust, and trust, in the realm of finance, is often a fragile commodity. So, we are presented with a paradox, a company offering Bitcoin services operating under the watchful eye of the New York State Department of Financial Services. These are the very mechanisms of control that Bitcoin was designed to render obsolete. Does this regulation truly protect the individual, or does it merely legitimize a system that inherently seeks to control and extract value from every transaction? The claim that customer Bitcoin and cash balances remain held one-to-one and are not lent or used for company operations is a crucial. It speaks to a commitment to sounder practices than those that led to the failures of 2022. But even with such assurances, the fundamental question remains: who holds the keys? Who controls the access? The moment your Bitcoin leaves your cold wallet and enters the custody of an intermediary, however well-intentioned or regulated, you introduce a point of failure, a vector for potential loss, and a surrender of ultimate control. We must always remember that Bitcoin's power lies in its permissionless nature, its ability to bypass intermediaries, to allow individuals to be their own bank. Every step that reintroduces intermediaries, even for convenience, must be viewed through the lens of this fundamental principle. Is it a necessary evil for broader adoption, a stepping stone towards a more self-sovereign future? Or is it a subtle re-entanglement, a domestication of a wild, untamable force? The market, in its infinite wisdom, will ultimately decide. Individuals, through their choices, their actions, and their preferences, will determine the true value of these services. Will they prioritize convenience and integration into the existing system, or will they seek the uncompromised sovereignty that only self-custody can provide? Perhaps the true measure of progress is not how many regulated entities offer Bitcoin services, but how many individuals truly understand and embrace the responsibility of their own financial freedom. The question isn't what Bitcoin is worth in fiat terms. The question is, what are we worth when truth stops being convenient? We are Blocksonic. We don't predict the market. We read its memory. Never forget, Bitcoin is only yours in your cold wallet.